Hello, this is Light and Bone Tarot, and I just want to thank you for being here and letting me read for you. It's everything. It means so much to me, and thank you so much. We are doing a relationship, or we're doing a relationship reading. This reading is entitled A Fling or the Real Thing. So we are going to find out if this situationship of sorts that you find yourself in, where it's headed. Is it the real thing? Is it a fling? What is it? And if you know anything about me or my readings, the ones on relationships or love are always my favorite. And they're my favorite. So that's all I can say about that. Okay, good. So please look at these beautiful crystal cards. We have 4 pretty different cards here. So the one that jumps out at you, this is your reading. Jump to your timestamp below. It's in the description. And I look forward to doing this fun relationship reading for you. So I will see you soon. Thank you. Bye. Pile 1, this is Light and Bone Tarot. Thank you so much for being here and letting me read for you. I deeply appreciate it. So let me just thank you right now for being here. Okay, this reading is fun. It's about relationships. It's about love. And the title is A Fling or the Real Thing. And that's what we're going to try to discover for you and just see where you're at in this dynamic. What's it all about? What's it feel like? And this is Pyrite. I think they call it a fool's gold. Yes, they do. But you're not a fool. It's not real gold, however. But I don't blame you. This card, like the juxtapose there, is really stunning. Okay, we are going to turn over some tarot some oracle cards that I shuffled before I turned the camera on. And I want to see your dynamic. I want to see you. I really want to help you. I just want to help figure out if this is a fling or the real thing. And again, I haven't said it yet, but this is supposed to be fun. So, we're going to take everything we say here with a grain of salt. However, I do want some real insight. Okay, so these cards are so beautiful. The focus card, right away, something with the focus card does give me hope. There is something about this that, it's funny. It's this like right out the gates feeling. Does it feel like a fling or the real thing? It feels like the real thing. And I don't know why. There's something about this focus card. There's something about the beginnings and the east here. I almost feel like you two are both approaching this with a slightly different dynamic, a different structure, a different energy. There's something new. I feel like this relationship, this dynamic that you guys have is getting real intent and focus from both of you. And to see this strength card come up, this pillar of strength, this red kind of root chakra-esque feeling here, it makes me think that both of you you're feeling this, you're connected to this, you care about this. Like you're actually seeing this dynamic as something real, something substantial, something that, just something sturdy and solid. There's a very good feeling here. I like these cards. And mermaids love, seeing a man and a woman in an embrace that seems to be loving and caring and thoughtful. There's something about this card also that makes me think there's this almost whimsical, very nice energy to your guys' dynamic right now. Maybe you did just meet. Maybe this is something that just came along with like the turn of the season. Maybe this is like an actually very new and exciting thing for you and you feel something very deep about it. Like you feel a way about it even though it is new. If that's your case, like I get it because there is something very sturdy feeling about this. It's like this dynamic of yours actually has legs. I can kind of see it going somewhere. So from these cards, already I'm thinking this is real. This has substance, and the strength card is really nice here. It's almost like each one of you come from a place of wanting to get this right, a place of like intentionally trying to do things different, trying to like almost set the right foundation from the beginning. I just feel like there's a mature approach going into this. And again, this focus card, I do think it makes me think of this intent, this like deliberate energy given towards this dynamic. And just in these 4 cards, there's a very beautiful message here. Okay, so I want to see I want to see your guys' dynamic in 3 cards, and we are going to go from there. Let's see what we're looking at in 3 cards. So, okay, we've got, this is 3 cards. I know this is, I swear there's another card there. Okay, we have the 5 of Swords, 7 of Cups, and 3 of Swords. Okay, the 3 of Swords, this deck, which I love and I cannot tell you the name of right now, unfortunately, they have alternative meanings for 2 of some very painful cards in the deck, and one of them is the 3 of Swords. And I've taken the nope, this is the nope, I take it back. This is the how did this card get in here? That's the question. Okay, so we might have 3 of Swords cards. We might have 2 3 of Swords cards in this deck, but that's okay. Because it actually plays in a very good way. I see this dynamic between you two. I'm going to start with the 7 of Cups. When I say it almost has this too good to be true feeling, I don't mean that in a way of like condescension or in a way that would like deter you or make you think it is too good to be true. I just think things are unfolding very beautifully for you. I think that already you could see that this relationship has like real potential and possibility for growth. I really think you guys both have probably like had a conversation about how the 2 of you really click, how this is wild, how this is for the short amount of time you guys have been together, or for how quickly things progressed in set amount of time, that it is really wild. I think there's something very unique about your guys' dynamic, and I see that both of you recognize this. You probably have fun talking about it. It's this feeling of being like very emotionally loved up and feeling very, very good. Almost like there's this kind of blissful state. And you know, this woman's feet off the ground, head in the clouds, and this mermaid with her feet off the ground and her head's, you know, a little bit higher than this man's. It does give the feeling of like you do feel swept off your feet, but I don't get that too good to be true aspect to it. I really think that there's been, well, okay, so let me pause on that, because you're flanked by 2 pretty tough cards here, the 5 of Swords and the 3 of Swords. And I think what's happening for you in this dynamic, you've been hurt. You know what it's like to have your heart broken, the 3 of Swords. You know what it's like to be deceived or tricked or be in a relationship that feels less than uplifting. You guys both know this. You guys have both been hurt, and maybe one of you in particular, possibly you, feels is more, let's say you have heartbreak or betrayal in a more recent past situation. One of you has like a more recent brush with this kind of like heaviness that a relationship can leave behind. So you don't want to hurt your partner. You don't want to do things wrong. You don't want to put a wrong foot forward. Both of you are actively trying to make something of this you're just trying to do the right things without hurting the other. And I don't know, there's something very, very positive about your dynamic. I'm going to get more cards to speak to it, but it makes me think that you guys are both very, very happy. I think you're loved up. I think you're in a good place. I think you have good communication. And I think like your head and your hearts are working together. I do think there's communication. I do think there's openness. I think you guys are good at talking about like the past and like the pain you felt. In other words, I don't think this is a relationship where you haven't had these tough conversations that I think are like essential to like real long-term dynamics. For instance, I think you know a lot about each other's past. I think you've shared these stories. You've probably seen the other cry when talking about something that's been very like close to their heart or hurt them. I really see that you've come a long way together, and this is the Strength card. This might be new for you. This might not be something either one of you is accustomed to, or either one of you has really done in the past or in a relationship. I just think things are unfolding a little bit differently, but in a very, very positive and beautiful way. So again, you know, a fling or the real thing, we're going to call this the real thing. And whatever that means, I don't know, but it's positive. It's happy. It makes me feel good. I like being able to call this the real thing, because there is a sincere love and kindness to this dynamic. And I'm just, yeah, I feel there's something very positive coming off of this. I'm going to do Okay, so I want to ask Spirit. Let's get some input from Spirit. Why are you questioning this? Because you must know that things are good. Why are you questioning this? And we'll just see what comes up, and we'll almost have fun with this. But why? Why are you here asking this question? Okay, so we have Ace of Swords. Okay, we have the Death card. It has nothing to do with death. It's new beginnings, regeneration. It's actually a very beautiful card. And we have the Eight of Wands. So the Death card in this case, I do think this is fear. I do think you are, and it's funny, I hear myself say this, and this is kind of cliche, but truly, I really think you're really afraid of losing this person, or of losing. You recognize that this is something very special. And I feel like if I were to say to you, this is a fling, you would take it very seriously. Like you're almost looking for that red flag. Like you're so hyper aware that this feels so good and has so much potential. Like you really want to know if there's something you're overlooking, or like a red flag you maybe ignored, or something you're not seeing, or if there's some insight from the universe. Like you really want to know it, because I really do think you're afraid of getting in too deep, or being hurt, or losing this person, or losing yourself to this. Like I think that's a very real fear of yours, and as it should be, I suppose. I think that's something everyone feels when they get to a certain point of feeling kind of swept away in a relationship, which the Seven of Cups could imply. But I don't, that term swept away, I don't mean it in a bad way. I mean it in like you are being swept off your feet by someone who seems to, as this card implies, care for you, support you, have your back. There's this very supportive, loving dynamic. Like their gaze is focused in the same point. They just seem very in tune, very connected. And I see this for you guys. The Eight of Wands tells me you want this relationship to go somewhere, as in you know where you want it to go. You have your eye kind of set on a goal. This is, to me, what the Eight of Wands represents. And I really love this deck because I can speak literally to it without, like I know the meaning of the cards, and I really like the images they give to this. And to me, like these geese, they know where they're going. They have this internal compass. They have this, just innate drive to get to a certain pole twice a year, and nothing's going to stop them from getting there. And I really do think you feel that with this relationship. There's something pulling you towards it, this like gravitational pull into this person, into this relationship. I think it feels good on so many levels. I think you guys really have something, and you want to make sure you're not overlooking anything. That's why you're here. And the Ace of Swords, this also reminds me that you're doing this right. You really are. You are approaching this differently than I think you have other relationships. You're giving it a certain level of like care. And when I say intent, I mean like to the point where, let's say you aren't losing yourself in this dynamic. You are making time for your friends. You are finding time for your own hobbies and interests. You're not allowing yourself to get completely swept away. You might feel swept away. You might feel like, oh my gosh, this is the one, but you're treading cautiously. And I think that this is you controlling, I don't want to say controlling the outcome, but in a positive way, in a healthy way. You're aware of what's happening and how things are unfolding. And I just think you're very much in control of yourself, in control of your emotions, your mind, where your mind's running, what you're feeling. There's a lot of self-control here in regards to you. And I do think it comes from a place of strength. And I said that before I realized I have this strength card right in front of me. Yes, there is definitely this strength coming off of you that is admirable. It's very sexy. It's very appealing. It's very like, there's something just raw. And I don't know, I'm trying to think of a word like, I want to say primal, even though that has nothing to do, that has everything to do with like sex and nothing to do with, I don't know, respect or wherever I was going with that. But there is just, it's almost like you can't fight it. The way you feel right now, the way things are unfolding, the way you're acting, like this is kind of this, you can't fight it. There's this kind of primal energy in you right now. And again, these cards are showing me that this is a good thing. This is a good dynamic. It shows me you're in a good place. And as for your partner, I'm going to ask a question about him right now. And again, we'll take this with a grain of salt, but I think he's probably, and I say he, could very well be a she. He rolls off my tongue, but I think they are very much in tune with you, and you're like feeling each other. You guys are really feeling each other, and good for you. Good for you. I mean that so sincerely, and yeah, so totally sincerely. Okay, let's see. I want to see your partner. I'm going to start with 2 cards, and because we like them. We like them, and yeah, we do like them. Okay, so 2 of Pentacles and 10 of Swords. So the 10 of Swords, this is funny. The other suit in the deck that they replaced with a card that isn't so awful is the 10 of Swords. And they gave this card, which is usually like a very weird card of like defeat and horrible endings. They gave you an option, they being this deck, to pull this card instead, and I choose this card. So the 10 of Swords in this deck and in this reading, it means like your person, it's a card of wisdom. It's a card of like wanting to do the right thing. And again, there's this intent behind it. And I've said that word for this reading so many times. This isn't like, you guys aren't throwing, what is it, like spaghetti at a wall to see if it'll stick. Like, is this going to work? Should we try this? Should we do this? Should we approach it this way? Like, I think you guys you don't want to mess this up. You want this to go right. You want this to work. You care about each other. You care about yourselves. I think you guys are both at a point in your life where you have a lot of self-respect, and you're taking the time to take care of yourself and do what's right for you and what serves you as well as each other. You're doing a lot of things right, whether you realize it or not. That's what I see. And I see that your partner is approaching things like methodically, with care, with like a genuine interest in like, I want to find a word for more than just doing the right thing, but that's all that's coming to me right now. But yeah, this is like a shaman staring into the eyes of an owl. And if this is your person and how they're handling this dynamic and this relationship and how much respect they have for you, I can see this coming through in this card. It's very kind, it's very loving, it's very sincere, and it speaks to the whole like, no, this isn't a fling. And you know, if this is a fling, you needed to have it. It was so totally here for a reason, but I don't even want to go down that road. I want this to be like the real thing. And I want this to be something that you can hold on to and have for as long as you want. So let's approach it that way, because that's absolutely what I'm getting out of this. And you know, you might be the only card or pile that has this outcome. My readings when it comes to love are usually like more on the cynical side of things. I don't know why. I'm not necessarily, but anyway, there's no cynicism here. There's nothing sarcastic. There's nothing like biting or like, ooh, but then there's this, like, I think you guys are, there's a lot of respect. There's a lot of care. There's a lot of compassion. There's so many good things between you two. So not a fling, okay? Like, I mean, you could stop this reading now and just know, like, this is not a fling. But 2 of Pentacles, your person it's a dance. They're treating this very, like, each step counts. They're working it. And I mean this in a way of like, maybe in the past they wouldn't have treated it this way. Like maybe in the past they moved too quickly. They did things that only served them. They didn't like work with all the moving parts, but no, they are this time. They're taking it seriously, and it's a dance, and it's a very beautiful spread. So I could just go on, and I tend to do that at times. So I'm going to leave the reading here, but I am going to get a fun quote card from Spirit, because I think you can handle it. And this is Spirit. It's her little injection of humor, and you know, sometimes it's more of a middle finger than a loving embrace, but we'll see. It is something to have fun with. So this is from Spirit. This is her little last tip for you, and it's refine your attention. What does that even mean? I feel like this is something that you can just, you know, sit on for as long as you want after you stop this reading, but I always try to find a place for it. I think in the context of this, I do think you're refining, oh my God, I don't know. You know what? I don't know. I could spend 5 minutes trying to figure out what that means, and it will come to me and I'll be like, damn it, that was it. I should have said it. But refine your attention. I think this is just continue with the positive framework you're on. Continue, or maybe stop questioning. If you're here, it's because you had a question and there was doubt. Maybe drop that doubt. Like really refine, start focusing in on like the truly positive things, the gifts that this relationship's going to bring, and stop questioning if it is too good to be true, if the bottom's going to fall out, if it's a fling. Let's already treat this like it's the gold standard. This is not gold. You picked pyrite, but let's start treating it that way. Okay, I'm going to end this. I thank you for being here. I am loving comments more than anything. Thumbs ups, likes, thumbs up are huge. And if you would subscribe, it'd mean everything. So thank you. See you soon. And thank you again. Goodbye. This is Light and Bone Tarot. Thank you so much for being here and letting me read for you. And we are doing a love reading for a fling or the real thing. That's the topic of this reading. I've never done one like this before, and I'm very excited to get into it. You know, I thought this was emerald, and it's not. It's not. It's Chrysoprase, which I'm not familiar with. Okay, it says it has a heavy helping of nickel, but it is. It's beautiful. It's green. It looks like it's chiseled away at in a natural kind of way. This is your pile. Your pile too. You're here. This is your reading. Let's get into it. I want to see like your dynamic and your dynamic, your person, you. I want to see this in a few oracle cards and get a feel for it. Okay, we've got air, patience. I do love that. I do love that. No rain today. Okay. And faith. Wow. Even though these cards, I was going to say, even though these cards are totally different, not a single card is similar to the one that was on the last reading, I get almost the same message, and I have to tell you it's positive. So the question being, is this a fling or the real thing? Just off of these cards, it feels like the real thing. It feels real, because these are truly, truly, the message here is like, okay, let's start with faith. This card to me, and the no rain today, the head in the clouds, I'm going to say, okay, this relationship, and this is, this is different from the last reading. We're already doing something totally different, just so you know. I think this relationship is like your savings grace right now. There's something about this that is bringing you so much reprieve, so much peace, so much joy. I feel like this would be an example of you being in a dynamic with someone that you like purely manifested. Like if you went back and looked at your journal for what you were looking for in a partner and how you wanted it to make you feel, you found that in this person right now. If you're asking if this is a fling or the real thing, you're probably terrified that it could be a fling, because to you this feels so much like the real thing. And I do love this for you. I love when my relationship readings show a message that I would want to hear if I was on the other end of it. And it's funny because although, like I said, the last reading was absolutely positive, the vibe is a little different. The vibe of this is like, you need this. And I don't want to say you've earned this, because that's always a funny term for me, but like if you've earned this, and it's in the sense that like you've been dealt a pretty shitty hand from love before, one that maybe hurt you physically, emotionally, it might have left some scars, it was hard on you, and now this is like, oh my gosh, this is like just getting massaged all day. There's something so needed about this dynamic, and I really think it's funny, I think your person really cares for you. I think they care about your well-being. I think with the patience card, I see this as your person. I think they're taking time with you. I think they're taking things slowly. It wouldn't at all surprise me if you waited a long time to be intimate with this person, or if you still haven't been, because you need your time. You need to like take things at your own pace. This might be different for you. There's just things about this where I feel like your person is working with you. They care about you. I just think they really care about you. There's something in you that they very much respect and care about, and they're just nurturing towards you. And it's funny, and I don't know why I want to say this, but your person, like I don't know why they seem like shorter than maybe the average person, or like stockier than the average person you would date. There's something about them where from a looks perspective, I think they are slightly different than what you generally gravitate towards, but it doesn't matter because you really like them. You feel safe with them, you like them, you feel like very seen and heard, but also like you do feel very sexy. You do feel like when you're ready to completely give whatever you want to give to them, however much of yourself you want to give, like you're eager to do this. And of course, maybe you already have, maybe you've been with this person a couple months. Like, I just feel like you really, you're really also enjoying them physically. But, I just feel that they're either, of a different height or like possible body build than you're accustomed to. But, okay. I like this dynamic. There's something very caring. There's something very loving. There's just a kind, gentle spirit here. And there's chaos in this card. This is a card that could go either way. If this was flanked by other cards that felt more tumultuous, then I'd be like, oh, this feels like a storm. This feels like chaos. But no, this is like, I feel like this card is your past. It's all the energy and all the like darkness and like, extreme like thunderclaps from your past. This isn't just dissipating. It's just like they're dissolving, and yet it's still in you. It's still a part of you. It's still there. You don't want to completely, diminish every part of your past. It's part of who you are. It's the lessons you've learned. It's what you're taking with you into this dynamic, but it is not like overpowering. It is not, rearing its ugly head. Instead, I feel like we've got this peaceful, very like faith driven, very like third eye, trying to connect, trying to really like spiritually. I just feel like you're plugged in. This relationship is also making you feel like more spiritually connected than maybe you have in a long time. Like there's a calmness to you that maybe in your past relationships you weren't able to feel. Maybe you always felt anxious. Maybe you always felt like you had to please in a way that like just didn't sit right with you, or was exhausting, or you weren't yourself, or you were being taken advantage of. Whatever it is, I just feel like you've had a bad run or multiple bad runs, and this is a very, very lovely time for you. And because it feels so good and positive, I do think that you're like opening up to other just channels of energy and source and light and high vibe existing. I think you're feeling good on a lot of levels. I could see that like your health is probably feeling better. You're feeling more connected, and I dig that. I hope this is accurate. I hope this tracks. If it does, let's get some tarot and speak to it a little bit more. But I definitely, if we had to answer the question right now, a fling or the real thing, like, yeah, this feels like the real thing. It really does. So let's stay on this trajectory. And I want to see your dynamic in 3 cards and just understand a little bit about this. So we have the Page of Wands, the Empress, which I love the Empress card. This is, it's not a secret. If you've heard like even one of my readings before, I talk about the Empress. She's everything to me. Okay, so the Empress, the Page of Wands, the Five of Pentacles. The Five of Pentacles, it can have quite a few different meanings, but one of the meanings of the Five of Pentacles in this deck does a great job of portraying that, is having like your person, having this person that even when like the rest of the world takes a shit on you, you've got this one person. Sorry for I realized how graphic that was after I said it, but you definitely got the point. Like, And this is a person who is offering you, it doesn't matter what's going on outside of your house in the world right now. You've got someone that you sincerely care about. They care about you. You trust them. You feel safe around them. When they hug you or embrace you, you feel very like secure, like you're home. It's a very, very happy, positive thing. The Empress, you do feel like this goddess, and really it's probably one of the best words I could give to this. You feel like Venus, right? You are alive, your juices are flowing, you're feeling like just lit up. You feel really like very truly sensual, but also like caring and nurturing. Like you can actually give back in this dynamic. You can take care of yourself, you can feed your own needs, and you can actually give to this other person. Like you can do it all. And I don't know that you've been in a relationship or many or any where that really, really existed maybe for longer than like one dinner. But it's happening in this dynamic for you. You're really, I think you found a gem. I really do. And it's funny because this is not a precious stone. But I really feel like you found a gem in your person. There's something very, and maybe they are understated. Again, this isn't emerald. This is, I don't even know what this is. It's a crystal, but it's not the emerald card I thought it was. Like, you know, everyone's going to notice the emerald. Everyone's going to pull the emerald off the shelf. Like, but I just feel like the person you're with is a true gem, and they make you feel something very secure and loved up and good. And I adore them for this. Yeah. And then the Page of Wands, this is a fire starter. This is, I think, the beginning of something. I think you're building something. This relationship feels like it can turn into something. This can grow. This has legs. There are things you guys can do together as a couple if you want to take this to the next level and the level after that. I really, really think there's potential for that. There's a lot on the table to tell me that things are good for you guys. And you know what? Why shouldn't they be? I mean, really, like, why shouldn't they be? I know you're here asking because the thing is, I don't know that you had doubt. I think you just wanted to hear the good. Like, I actually think you have a very good feeling about this. Whereas in the previous reading, I feel like there was doubt, and they needed the reassurance. Whereas in this reading, I don't think reassurance is needed. I think you're just so happy to get that confirmation and that validation that, like, yeah, this is as good as you think it is. This really is. Like, it's not just you. It's not just your best friend telling you, like, you've got a good one. Like, it actually is the universe kind of smiling on you and being like, yeah, this is good. Enjoy it. Okay, I want to see your, I was just going to ask for the same message twice. Okay, I want to see your person in a couple cards. Let's see them in all their loveliness. Okay, so we've got the World and we've got the Ace of Wands. Okay, so the World card is a very, very positive card. And I actually love how they do the World card here because it's almost it's this infinity. It's like looking through a keyhole. It's this endless potential. It's this growth, this rebirth. It really is this, to me, it's the anything can happen card. There's so much potential, so much power, so much like good energy that I think that your person wants, that they have within them, that they can give, but also that they want. I really see that if you want this relationship and this dynamic to have real legs, to really go places, there's absolute potential for that. And Ace of Wands, I mean, this is the beginning of the fire, the doing, the sparks, the ignition. There's a lot of potential here. There's a lot of, I want to say kinetic energy. I just like those lightning bolts. There's lightning bolts here, but not in this like over the top, love bombed, too good to be true way, but like in a very, just very positive, I don't think there's anything rushed about this. I really don't. It might have happened so smoothly that it feels rushed, where you're like, I can't really think of the last time we had a fight or anything. Like, I don't think you're fighting with this person. I don't think you guys are arguing. I think there's so much care and like caution given to all the right areas that things are just unfolding very, very, very organically. It might be unfolding quickly, but it's not the kind of quickly where like you're where one person says like, hey, I think we should get married tomorrow, let's elope. Like, not that kind of quickly, but the kind of quickly where like weeks have flown by and you do find that you're spending the majority of your time together, but it's been so organic that it hasn't felt like any one person is kind of driving it more than the other. It's just unfolding very, oh my God, dare I say, organically again. But I guess my point is, I don't see this as being rushed. I don't see the red flag. I don't see any red flags with this. I see kindness and love and goodness and someone who really cares. So, okay, what else can we ask? Because this is a fun one. And again, you're here for the validation. You know this. Okay, but let's ask why you're here, or what can we do if there is anything that you need to hear that's going to help you, or what message can we give you? So this is like a message from Spirit, and we're going to do this in 3 cards, and let's see what comes up here. So we've got 9 of Swords, Page of Swords, and 10 of Wands. Okay, so I get this message. These are hard cards, and you might even be able to tell they feel very dark. They feel very Page of Swords. No, Page of Swords is beautiful. All the I'll talk about the Page of Swords in a minute because it's a great card. But these are heavy cards. The 9 of Swords is like anxiety, nightmares, stress. 10 of Wands, this is burden. This is like, here's what I get out of this message. You still, even though you do have a past. You have a past that has tormented you, and you have a relationship. Even these dark hands that are like grabbing at this person in the card. There's a nightmare, at least one, that you can think of that you've gone through in regards to like love or relationships, and you really, you don't ever want to relive that. You don't ever want to go back to. It is there. It does come up at times. You definitely have this, but you really aren't there with this person. You really don't even, it's easy for you not to think about these memories when you're with this person. And I think this is the first relationship you've had where you're not fearful, you're not anxious. And I really think that this almost feels foreign to you. So there is this part of you that's like, well, am I losing my mind? Am I crazy? Is it really this good? Like, because I'm not even thinking about like what I've been through or what other relationships felt like. Like, this is very, very different. And I just think that these 2 cards are messages of like, yeah, you've been through it. But this is a whole different situation, a whole different person, a whole different dynamic. And again, maybe this person doesn't look like people you've typically chosen to date. Maybe maybe they don't have the resources of a lot of the people you've dated in the past, or maybe there's one thing that does make them not the first person that's going to get swooped up if someone had to pick from a lineup. I don't know, but whatever it is, this is your gem. This is the person right now that I think is really, you guys are supposed to be together forever. For how long, I don't know. And to what extent, I don't know, but right now I feel like this is where you're supposed to be. And I don't want you to go back to stressing, because there's no place for it here. That's the message. There's no place for that here. This is something different and fresh. And again, Page of Swords, let this be new. Approach this differently. Think about this differently. And you truly are. This is, I think, confirmation, like this little golden glowing orb above the Page of Swords. It's new thoughts. It's a whole different approach mentally, and good for you for banishing these nightmares, this anxiety, and not taking that baggage into this. And I guess that's another thing I'm seeing here. You haven't taken the baggage with you into this dynamic. For whatever reason, it's not there. I'm sure you've talked about it. I think you and this person have had tremendous connection and conversations, but it isn't something you need to harp on. You don't always need to be like, you don't always need to reference how hard things were in the past with this person, because I feel like this just is such a standalone, unique situation you find yourself in. And yeah, it's a gift to you right now. So enjoy it. Love it and just embrace it, have fun with it. I think this relationship has legs. I keep saying that and I've like never said that before. So I don't even know what that means, but I like it for you. I like it for your person and I'm happy for you and congratulations. I want to get a funny little quote card from Spirit. This is input. It is, I don't know. It's always comical, but let's see what she has to say for you. You know what? You got two. Okay. Grieve your losses and raise your vibration. So grieve your losses and raise your vibration. You know, these quotes, they're funny. And I always say, like, I never know. This is like if Spirit has a sense of humor, which I'm sure she does. It was when it comes out in the readings in these cards. Raise your vibration. I think you're doing pretty good. I honestly do. But with the Faith card, and I did mention a little bit about like that potential like third eye, and then we can get up into the crown chakra. There is that, I think if you are going to meditate and try to get more connected to source and light and higher vibration, this is a good card to imply that you're on a path and you're in a mindset where you could be open to this. So, okay, maybe this really is a message like meditation could do you really good right now. Not that you need it because you desperately need it, but because it would be just one more tool that's going to help you be even stronger. Like you're at a point in your life where you could probably actually close your mind off to a lot of the noise and chaos that was there before, and you could actually meditate. And with that could come just more goodness, more clarity, a higher vibration, more happiness, more awareness. And you know, this could be like yoga, this could be like when you stretch at home in the morning, or it can be like listening to meditations online or YouTube or whatever. But I feel like meditation could be something that if you incorporated it, however, whatever that means to you, you might really get something out of it because you're at a point in your life where you can receive it and focus on it. Grieve your losses. You know what? You've been through something. We know that. We've brought that up. They're in your past. By grieve, I almost feel like this is like a set it free. Like you have grieved your losses. You've lived it. You've been through it. This is your fresh start. And I really feel like by the grieve your losses, it's like send them away. They're done. Like throw it out there. You're done with them. This is a new start for you. So I get this message now that I look at it a little bit more. If you're still here 21 minutes later, thank you so much. I love this reading for you. We have fully determined that this is a real thing and not a fling. And I hope you enjoy the hell out of this relationship. So please comment, like, subscribe. All three would it doesn't take a long time. It takes a very short time to do all three, and I would be so touched by all of those things. But you know what, or you can do none of them. That's fine too. I really hope you enjoyed this reading. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you again. Goodbye. This is Light and Bone Tarot. Thank you so much for being here and letting me read for you. It's everything. I appreciate it so immensely. So thank you. This has been a great reading. You are pile 3. This is Tibetan black quartz. I really love quartz, and actually the more I explore quartz and like see it in person, the more I'm kind of, I don't know, like it just feels like a beautiful diamond to me. I really love this card, and I love this reading. So let's see where we're at. Let's see where we're going with this. Okay, I have 4 oracle cards here, so I shuffled these right before I pressed record. Okay, these are your oracle cards. Enough about that. Okay. Blessings, Earth, Secrets, and Intuition. Okay. So let me get a feel for this. Okay. The topic of this reading, if I didn't already say, I'm losing my mind, but it is a fling or the real thing. I'm just really trying to think if I already said this or not. It's weird if I didn't. Okay, so I'm trying to look at these cards and just get a feel for you, your dynamic, your person. And I have to say, it does feel very positive. The only card on here that would make me question anything is Secrets. However, I think there's going to be a positive and like interesting spin on this Secrets card, because these 3 cards, the blessings, the earth, the intuition, there's something very calming, very positive. I will say this though. Okay, and bear with me, because if this message isn't something you want to hear right away, let's go the distance with this reading. If this is a fling, you're supposed to have it. It's something you're supposed to have. And I guess the only assurance I can bring you is it's not going to shatter your heart. You're going to be fine. This was a person and a time in your life that you were meant to have. And there might be something about this that I feel like if this is a fling, it's healing something in you. It is giving you, it's like breathing life into something that you needed. And it's weird when I'm getting off these cards, the more I start talking about it. I almost feel like you're going to have an opportunity to make this more if you want to. In other words, right now, this might be a fling. If we had to categorize it right now, the second you're watching this, whenever you're watching this, and by right now, I mean like when you're watching this, it would be categorized as a fling. However, I do think that you have the potential to make it the real thing if you want to. It's almost like this one's in your hands, and something about the secrets, there's something like that this has healed you. There's been something very healing, very rewarding, very needed. Like this relationship, this dynamic, whatever it is, was like a gift from the universe to you. And you're gonna be okay if it's just a fling. Your person's gonna be okay if it's just a fling. I think you guys both really care about each other. I think you guys really have something. And I think with the Earth card and the Blessings card, you guys have something like very raw, and I'm going to use the word primal. I think there's something very sensual about you guys. I think you guys have like an incredible like physical dynamic. I think there's a lot of passion, which means like if it's a fling, okay, great. You enjoyed the hell out of each other. I don't think it was like in any way toxic or overwhelming for any party. I think that like this was something that I'll say both of you, but like you really needed, and you treated each other with like love and respect. And I think it's been very, very like healing. However, if you want this to be more, I absolutely think there's an opportunity for that. I think it lies with you. And it's something you have to do. And the secrets card, there's something in this card. I don't know if there's a part of you that has to be like open up and share something, if you have to be like more vulnerable, if you have to put your guard down, if you have to like almost invite the relationship to take the next step or stage. But that is the message I'm getting here. And I'm getting it very, very strong. And the intuition card is like, you're gonna know. This is that third eye kind of crown chakra connection here. You're going to know if this is something that you need to take more from, you would need to invest more into, that you need to like literally advance to the next level. You're going to feel it. You're going to know it. You're going to do it. And I like this message. It is very clear to me. But yeah, you guys have something very cool. I don't know. There's something like when I look at these two cards, I mean, this home, this Earth card, it does make me think like you're cut from the same cloth. There's something very similar about you guys, and you click in a way that might feel like genuinely uncanny. It feels like, I think when you guys come together and when you're together, it's like, it's so much, almost like, I'm just going to use the words for the sake of this reading interchangeably, like a twin flame or a soulmate. Like it has that kind of an energy to it. But I really think you can take that energy, and you might have to work it or almost like temper it a little bit. You could take it to the real thing. So I could talk on this and wax poetic on this message all day. I get it. I'll probably come back and ask a question about not what your secret is, but like, that'd be funny if I did that though. What the move would be for you, because I do think that you probably need to be a little more vulnerable. There's something you need to like invite or share to advance this to like a wall you have to break down kind of thing. Okay. But yeah, and I feel like, I always say I feel like, I probably say that 100 times in each reading. I feel like all the readings, this is the third. If I had the people, if I could see everyone watching this reading and like put them in 3 different groups, like I would be able to look at this group and be like, oh yeah, that's pile 3. There's just something very like, I don't know, like earth goddess sexy. There's like, you just kind of ooze pheromones or something. There's just something, there's something about you. Okay, love it. Let me see your dynamic with this person in 3 cards. There is an echo in this room today. I'm sorry if it's coming through. I'm sure it is on the mic. Okay, this is you guys in 3 cards. Emperor, can I like not manhandle these cards so much? Okay, the Hermit, 8 of Wands, and the Emperor. Okay, I feel like we've got a little bit of everything here. 8 of Wands, 100% going after what you want, eye on the prize, focused, determined, doing the things you want when you want to do. This kind of speaks to the passion piece for me with you guys. Like there's this almost like no fucks, we've got this. If we want to like stay in bed for 3 days straight, we're going to do it. If we want to go get brunch like in each other's clothing, we're going to do it. Like I just feel like you guys are so totally like on one when you're together that people probably think you guys have been on like a 2-month bender together when really you're like, no, we just had 2 glasses of wine last night. We're cool. But I don't know. There's just this like people look at you and they're like, what are they on? They are so into one another. Okay, that's the 8 of Wands for me. The Emperor and the Hermit. I almost feel like if you guys took it to like the real next level, like you're in that very hot and heavy fling-esque place right now, but let's say you took it to the real thing. I do think one of you actually would have more of an Emperor vibe and one of you would have more of a Hermit vibe. And I don't, obviously, I don't know which one is which, but it does tell me that, you know, you guys, truly, you are cut from the same cloth. You have so much in common, but this energy that you're harnessing right now, it's going to go somewhere else. That you're going to show other dimensions of yourself, other dimensions, sure. And you're going to become more individualized. And when this starts to happen, I do think that one of you is going to have more of a Hermit energy and one's going to have a more Emperor energy. And what this means to me is like, this is positive actually. This to me is like, and maybe these are already starting to show. Maybe one of you is already starting to show like that possibly one of you likes going out more than the other. One of you is a little more truly like social, where the other might have a little more of like an antisocial tendency. Maybe one of you is much more of like a leader and the other one's a little bit more comfortable following. And I don't think that's a bad thing. Like I've said before, I'm not a leader. I'm not an emperor. I like being led. I like being like directed. It's my, I don't want to say like happy place, but I'm fine with that in any situation, in work, in a relationship with friends, like put me in the direction and I'll go. So I think that these might be the dynamics you guys would take on once you exit this, like, you know, your souls have merged into one kind of thing. And this is fine because this shows you guys each have a lot of depth. It shows there's something below the surface here. And I do like that we got 2 major cards for it. Like clearly there's passion. Clearly you guys are you're moving down this like lovely, just, I don't know, passion-filled vacation together. But you do have your strong individuality. And yeah, it's, you know, there's something about this too, like this bird, this woman, and this girl, they're all facing this way. The geese are facing this way. I don't know what that means. And actually it does mean something because, well, I don't know what it means. I don't know what direction that is. I was going to say it's east because it's to the right, but I don't think that's entirely accurate. Anyway, scratch the last 5 seconds of that. But yeah, I think that if you choose to show something that is going to help elevate this to the next level, you're going to see that there's depth here. There's if you peel back the layers, there are more layers in a good way. So yeah, this is a very, very fun reading. And you know, if you're still here, you're probably feeling it. So like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on that. Okay, let's get some information about the secrets card. What does this mean? How can we help? If you have any questions about this, because I certainly do. Okay, the Tower, 4 of Swords, and Nine of Pentacles. Okay, so for me, the Secrets card was like this thing you have to, this is almost like what you would have to do, what you would have to reveal or show to, it would be your conscious effort to take this to the next level. And the Tower here is like, you would have to let something go. There would be a part of you that would have to change. There would have to be something like, and it might be within the relationship or the dynamic, something that would need upheavaling. And obviously, I mean, I'm going to say, I don't know what that is, but I'm trying to think like, what is an example that like resonates with me? It's probably something to do with like a habit. It's probably something to do with the way you handled situations, or maybe as this gets closer to feeling like a real thing, you might feel that you want to like fall into maybe a previous pattern or something you did in relationships, but you would have to like stop that. Maybe there's this insecurity or this fear that you've been kind of keeping down because there's been no need for it. Things have been heaven for you right now, so you haven't even thought about it. But once things get a little more real or whatever, like I just feel like there is something that you would have to address. And it's almost like an old habit, an old way of like reverting into an old pattern would have to cease. And I think this is healthy because I don't think this ever served you. It was a clutch or a vice or a habit. Oh my God, I won't say it again. But I think this speaks to this card. And I like this because it's a heads up. Like you can now jog your mind and be like, what is this? What is this thing that if I really want this relationship to work, that I would have to like address and not do? And with that, like the Four of Swords, there is this rest, this recovery, this quieting of the mind. And I get out of this like, okay, so you might be someone who it's easy to like do the beginning steps of a relationship. It's easy to have the first fun. The physical aspect probably comes easily to you. Like you don't overthink the physical. It's not here nor there. It's fun. It's exciting. And then the challenge for you probably comes when things start to feel a little bit more real, or when they get more intense or more, like cerebral feeling or based or whatever. Like, okay, so these speak to me about those. Like when this relationship is going to start to feel a little more intense or grounded, this is when you're going to have to address these things. And this is a card of like, it's rest, it's healing. There's a healing aspect to this card. You're going to have to care for yourself when this happens. You're going to have to like really think like, what do you need? What feels good for you? Is it chilling out? Is it reassessing things? But in a way that's going to work for your dynamic. If you want this relationship to go from a fling to the real thing, I really think this is completely within your power. And I've talked these kind of in circles, and I don't know if they necessarily make sense, but for you to just like take this with you, this is a message of something that has to like stop. And this is definitely like a take care of yourself card. Really care for yourself, love yourself, give yourself the time, the space. And this might even be like, you might even find that there's a moment where you're like, okay, we're going to chill out on seeing each other like quite so much, or the intensity of the physical, or like whatever. You might take a break, but not a break of like, we're seeing other people or we don't know how we feel about each other. Not that kind of a break, just a healthy, like, look, I need a couple days. I need a weekend. I need a week. I don't know. I need a week with my family, like whatever it is. That's okay. And maybe it's just taking that time to consciously like reassess. Yes, I'm here because I want to be. I consciously took this to the next level. Or maybe that's another thing for you. Like maybe things move so quickly for you, you like get into this really fun beginning stage, and then before you know it, you blink and you're in a relationship and you didn't even want to be there. So this could be a message of like, if it goes to the real thing, you are consciously taking it there. You are like actively, consciously, intentionally taking it to that next level, and it's on you this time. You're not going to like sit back and like let someone else direct you, which makes me think maybe your person's the emperor. You're not going to like sit back and enjoy the ride. You're really going to say like, no, I want this to, maybe you're the emperor. I don't know. Anyway, that message, let that one sink in. Okay. 9 of Pentacles. I don't think you need this person or any person really from a financial standpoint. This is a card of like, this is just a card of being happy and successful and doing it on your own. This is like, you have the resources, you have the foundation, you have the family, you have the clothes, the food, you have everything you need, all the tangibles and even all the intangibles to make it on your own. So again, this is a conscious decision for you. There's nothing about this dynamic that you have to take with you to like survive or be whole. So yeah, I hope this message here resonates, because I like it for you in that if you want this to go to the next level, it's on you, and it would be beautiful. The next level is going to be amazing. That's the whole point. Like this is incredible. Ride it out as long as you can. That's great. But this does become, in a way, it expires, right? And it's like when your puppy grows up, because you can't wait for your puppy to become a dog. Like, we love puppies, but then we always get excited, like, when are they going to be a dog? And I feel like that's the beginning of relationships sometimes. You're like, okay, this is great, I love it, but like, I need a little bit more. I need the next level. I need the depth. I need the security. I need whatever it is. Like, so I like the progression for you. Okay, I'm going to get, I was going to get your partner in 2 cards. Let me do that, because that's what I've been doing. So 2 cards for your partner, Ace of Swords and 10 of Pentacles. I think your partner's a thinker. I think they're intentional. I think they're on this ride with you. I think they're connected. And I think they would like acclimate to whatever you wanted. I really believe that. There's something about the Ace of Swords, like they would almost reset their mind or the way they think or the way they approach things to accommodate what you want, what feels good for you, how you want this to unfold. I really think they would ebb and flow with you, and they would, there's a thing about like a rewiring of the mind here. They would, whatever you want, they're going to go with, and they're going to work with you. So I think that's great. And 10 of Pentacles tells me they would like to see this through with you. They really would, whether you know that right now or not. I mean, I know you guys are obviously intensely feeling one another, but I think there's something here to say that this person would truly stick it out with you. They would want to be with you in like, next level kind of way. So, great message here. All of this is a great message, and it's very positive. And how amazing. I mean, this is pile 3, and all 3 piles have been positive. And I'll tell you, my love and relationships readings generally have a much more cynical, like, feel to them. It's a great reading. And now it's funny, for some reason, just looking at this really quickly, I do feel like you're more of the Emperor, and maybe you've taken a back seat of like being that kind of like, I don't want to say bad bitch, because you are, and your person knows this and loves this about you. You haven't been timid at all, but maybe you haven't shown like just how much of a, let's say, control freak or, lovable tyrant you really are. And that might be your brand. It might be who you are. And it's just that love it or hate it kind of thing. But maybe you haven't quite shown that, but you're starting to step into that. And maybe your person, like, you guys may be going out partying, you may be having the time of your life, but maybe at the end of the day, or you would start to learn about them, they are more like, I want to say cerebral again, or they're just not quite as turned up as they've been in this little time that you guys have spent together. But anyway, and that's kind of a side piece. The whole message is here, and it's lovely. And I'm going to get this fun quote card from Spirit. She always has something odd and like off color to say, but this is her injection of humor and also wisdom and just general input. This is Spirit's input for you. We actually picked up 2, so we'll go with it. Building on solid ground. Love it. Trust the divine plan. Okay, so again, this relationship, if it goes somewhere, it's because you intentionally, you took it there, okay? And the Tower, this is not solid ground, but I really do think this will have the roots. It'll be strong because you made it that way. This isn't going to happen by accident. This is you saying like, I want this. And you know what? Just to throw it out there, maybe this is only a fling. That's okay. Like, I'm not trying to say this relationship has to go to the next level. I don't want to stress you out with that, but I want you to know that it's an option if that's what you want. I think your person would love that, but I think they're going to be fine either way as well. And I really feel that. So I just want you to know that, like, this isn't saying, hey, you need to take it to the next level. I'm just saying it's an option for you, and that's awesome. But it's definitely, it's been one of the best times of your life, and that's great. Trust the divine plan. You know, to me, I just feel like you're the divine one here. Go with your gut, your intuition. This is your time. And maybe you take time to think about what this divine plan is, but there's a plan here, and whichever way it goes, it's the way it was supposed to go, and just trust in that. So that is the message I'm going to leave you with. Don't feel pressure from this reading to take it one way or the other. Just trust in the decision you make being the right one. No pressure. Okay, thank you very much. If you would like, subscribe, or comment, I would be deeply touched. I would appreciate it more than you know. And thank you so much for being here. I hope to see you again and read for you again. Thank you. Goodbye. Pile 4. This is Light and Bone Tarot. Thank you so much for being here and letting me read for you. It's an honor. Thank you. This reading is a fling or the real thing. I've loved the last 3 readings. They've been unique and wonderful at the same time. Okay, this card is Sodalite, a friend to the chronic mediator. Oh, okay. Oh, they call it a poor man's lapis. You know what's funny? I feel like all these cards are like not the real thing. Like, we had Pyrite, we had a card that looked like a diamond. It was a quartz. We had a card that I thought was an emerald and it wasn't. And then this is what they call it, the poor man's. Sorry, hang with me. There's a reading coming, I promise. Poor man's lapis. I've heard of lapis. Okay. Let's get serious. We have 4 oracle cards that I just pulled, and this is gonna give me an idea of your dynamic, your relationship, and we are going to determine from all these cards if this is a fling or the real thing. So let's see where we're at. Let's see what's going on here. Going forward. That's good. We want to go forward. Water creation. Okay. A disruption. Touch the sky. Okay. So interesting that this is okay. So the 3 piles that came before you, I had right away, I was like, boom, I got the message. This one feels the most like, is it a fling or is it the real thing? Okay, and I'm still thinking on this because I don't want to rush in and be like, this feels like a fling. The disruption card's interesting because it's pink, but there's a slight bit of chaos here. The going forward, okay, so I do think this is a fling, and I'm going to speak to that a little bit more. I just have to take these cards in a little bit. There is something almost messy about this. Like, there's something about this that makes me think it's been slightly chaotic and slightly emotional, and this is very different than the last 3 readings. The touch the sky, there's something like melancholy about this, and I think that's what was throwing me off, because there's like, I don't know if it's almost like I do feel like you have put work into this. I think you've wanted this to be more than a fling. And with the going forward card, I do get the feeling that like this is you almost with this reading, like you've reached a point where you're really looking for a sign, like what should I do? And I mean, this is just a reading. I always say, like, have fun with it. I'm not here to tell you what to do, or I'm not, this is entertainment at best, but, or insight at best. But I do, from these cards, I get the feeling this has made you somewhat emotional. And I guess here's the thing. To me, a fling is like, it implies something positive. It implies something like that you got a lot out of, that you enjoyed, and that it didn't leave you tormented, or it didn't leave you sad, it didn't leave you confused. A fling is like, there's something almost positive about the word fling. It's like a euphemism for a short-term relationship or something. Like, it's just, I don't mind the word fling, but something about this is a little bit heavier. Like, it feels a little bit heavier than a fling, and it feels like, I don't know, maybe right now you guys are trying to figure out if you go somewhere. It's almost like there's this sense of right now you're on a little bit of a break, or there's this ever so slight disconnect, and you're almost trying to figure out right now, like, what is this? Because you had something fun, you had something real, you had something that I do think actually brought you to, you felt some real emotion in it. It might have been a little confusing, it might have been a little chaotic, and there is a melancholy piece to this card that I don't love, but it's what relationships do to us. So I also don't hate it either. It's just like, oh yeah, this is what a relationship feels like at times. So I get it. Of course, there's that piece to it. I don't see a bad message here at all. I guess that's something I really want to stress. I don't feel a bad message. I just feel that this went from being something that was lighthearted to now there's a little depth, and now there's a little weight to it. Now there's real emotion behind it, and we kind of have to figure out, like, where is this going? And really going forward, what does this look like? It's almost like going forward, question mark, like what does going forward look like? The creation in water, I do think there's potential to make something of this. I really do. I don't, that's what I'm saying. This isn't a bad set of cards in front of me. I can't say like, oh, boom, this is a fling, you're out of there. Like, it's just, there's something I'm trying to get from this, and it's a message with a little more depth. There's a little more weight on this pile than the other piles. And I don't know that that's a bad thing. And the more I look at it, I'm like, maybe it's not bad. Maybe you guys both are like really trying to figure out, how do you make this work? Maybe if it was the real thing and it meant it was like a real relationship, there's things that have to get worked out. It's not quite that simple. Like, just one day you're a fling and the next day you're a real thing. I think there's more to it. This pile has a little bit of weight. So I want to see your guys' dynamic right now when you're listening to this in 3 cards. And let's see if this will help kind of clear up this confusion that I've got about you guys. Okay, so we've got the 10 of Swords, 9 of Pentacles. I guess I'm pulling from the bottom, and the Devil. Okay. So the Devil card, don't trip on that. Let's address a couple of these other cards. Actually, this isn't bad at all. And I'm going to tell you, the 10 of Swords, and I say this for everyone watching, this deck, which name is escaping me right now, they give alternate cards for a couple of the swords, the 3 of Swords and the 10 of Swords, because they have heavy meanings, and they're alternate cards I've selected, and the meaning is a lot more positive. So this 10 of Swords is like, this is insight, this is intellect, this is like the peak of learning and really like combining your heart and your mind and your soul and like advancing all these parts of you. So this is a positive card in this deck. 9 of Pentacles, I'll take this. This is also a card of like self-sufficiency. And the Devil, okay, let me think about this, because I asked to see your dynamic right now. There's a weight to you guys. There really is. There's thought here, and there's care, and there's intention. I think both of you actually would like to see the other happy. I think, here's what I think about your guys' dynamic. I don't think you're in the fling stage anymore, and I don't think you're in the real thing. I think you're in this very strange limbo. I guess that's what it is. Like, there's a crossroads, and you went from something that was fling-like, or like a fling, which is lighthearted and fun and easy and breezy, to this kind of like, oh my God, what is this? Where are we now? Because we are not necessarily in a relationship. We haven't really talked about that, but we're not really in the fling thing either. You can feel that. There's more weight here. And I think your relationship has weight, which means your dynamic, which means it could have real potential for like a very real relationship. I think you want this. There's something in this to tell me that you are emotionally invested and that you really do care. I get emotion off of you. So your dynamic, okay, yes, I think there's care. I think you guys deeply care about one another. I think you're both self-sufficient. I think you both want to see the other six. This card tells me like you guys are okay without each other. I think you could go well together, but there's also this card to say you'll be okay without each other. And I mean that in like, you're not, what I mean is if you guys actually got together, it wouldn't be because you work better together or because one of you really needs this from the other and the other wants to give you that. I actually think I think on your own, you guys are fine. You're not, and this is positive, and I'm trying to put it with the right word to explain it. In other words, if you guys did wind up getting together, like for real, it's because you really are choosing to do that, not because you're doing anyone a favor, not because there's any pity, not because someone, wants to provide a good home for the other person's kid. Like there's none of that. You guys are fine on your own. You're self-sufficient. You're strong. You're independent. There's a lot to tell me that like, you're going to be fine if it doesn't go to the real thing phase. But, yeah, which is positive. And the Devil card, this is a funny card. I see this as like, it's funny because it looks a little bit like this creation in water card in a way. I see this as vices, someone with a history or a past. And I see this as probably your person not wanting to hurt you. I think they are trying to figure out if they can commit, if they really can be the partner you want, if it's going to make you happy to be with them. Is it really, have they honestly portrayed themselves to you? I really think this is your partner thinking like, can I be the person they want me to be? Am I who they think I really am? And I also see your partner in a lot of this person here, and this is like the caring part. Your person isn't the devil at all. I just think they want to make sure that they don't repeat the same mistakes they've made in past relationships with you. This is truly the message I'm getting here. And there's something so caring about this. There's something like very, very genuine. And also about this card, I think your person, if you guys were together, it seems like maybe they do have more than you have from like, let's say a financial or a fiscal standpoint. So it would be also like they would be taking care of you, but you don't need them to. I think they would like to take care of you. I think that like, if you guys said, okay, we're in this is like a real relationship, we're doing this, they would naturally want to take care of you, whether that means like they move you in or they help you out in ways that you don't need the help, but you could possibly take it. I think there is an option for that, but I really think this person wants to do right by you, and they're trying to figure out if they can, and what that would look like. So the only thing I don't like about this is the question mark and the unknown. But I do like that there's such intent and thoughtfulness and care given to this. But it is funny because it is now like the very in-between stages of nope, it's not a fling anymore, and it's not a thing just yet. So what is it? And here you are trying to figure that out as well. Okay, I want to see you right now in 3 cards. Where's like your headspace? Where are you? Okay, Temperance. Oh, I love the Sun, and this is beautiful that this came up. Okay, and oh my gosh, we have 3 major cards for you. Okay, so you are. I'm going to talk about the Sun in a second because it's a very lovely heavenly card. Sorry, these are getting cut off. You are trying very hard to think about this. You are trying to strike a balance. You are thinking like, if we did this, what would it look like? How would it feel? And that's okay. I get that. Don't lose yourself in these thoughts, because I think really when it comes down to it, it's your person's decision, and they might even make a snap decision. It might hit them one day. Oh, my candle just burned out, close to now, or I don't know. I'm just, you're going to do you, and you're going to live your life, and you're going to be very self-sufficient regardless. But I do think that you are trying to navigate these waters, and it is emotional. However, the Temperance card to me is a happy card. This is a card of like, you're still striking a balance within yourself. Hold on, what happened here? What's going on, huh? Oh, candle? All right, well, sorry. I don't know when that happened. I'm sorry. But yes, I definitely think that you want this, but you do have a healthy balance, and there is something very stable about you. I have to say, like, it's a very appealing and like just very appealing quality. You're very balanced. You're very even keeled. You're not boring, but you are very stable. Like, you are the opposite of crazy. And although the way I just painted that picture, it makes you sound kind of bland, you're not. I think you're very confident. I think you are very secure. And I think you're someone that if you walked away from this, even if it hurt you a little, you would absolutely be fine, and you would have you'd be fine, and your person would have so much respect for you either way. And this could go either way, so I don't want to lean too hard on one direction or the other. But here's the card I love. I love the Sun card, because you are your light, your life. You're kind of like a gift. There's something very, very lovely to behold about you. And this is the part of this is you are absolutely not boring. The Sun is what people crave. They need it. Your person, if they see you as the Sun, if they see you even as a little bit of the Sun, they're going to know it and feel it and express it, and it would probably turn into the real thing. So I love that this card came up. So if you were really wanting this person to see you, then let them see you as the Sun. And I don't even think you have to do anything outside of just being you. They already know this about you, but I want to give this message that you are the Sun. And if it doesn't work out with this person in this dynamic, then you're still the Sun. The next person will absolutely see this and embrace it. So if this fling that you had doesn't turn into the real thing, then whatever comes after this, when you want it to be the real thing, you will be seen as the Sun in that dynamic. But again, that doesn't mean that this person, you won't be that to this person, but it's a very beautiful card when I say, let me see you in 3 cards, to have this in the middle, and we've got 3 majors here. And these cards on the side, even the Hermit is such an intentional card of goodness and thought and intuition, and someone who is so smart and so connected and so bright. There's something about the Hermit. I'm trying to think of how I can describe it to sound truly appealing, but it's that person who isn't they're not lonely. The Hermit isn't lonely. They do exactly what they need to do for them, but they're not alone. They are so strong. They're so confident. They're so self-assured. There's just something very, very appealing about that. And there's this spark of wisdom and knowledge that comes off of them that is, again, completely appealing. And this Creation card and the Hermit card have a lot of similarities. And this Creation card is, I don't know, just the way the images are. This is a very, very water card. Obviously, the title is water, so it's literally a water card. But it's that emotion, it's that light, it's that high vibration. It's just that, even though it's an older woman in the card, there's something very goddess-like about it, very Venus feeling. And yeah, I like that. So you really are this very radiant, very attractive, you pull people into you. And I guess I want to reiterate that, because if this relationship doesn't go where you might really want it to go in this moment, it's probably for the better, because that means this person couldn't handle all the things that are you, or they weren't ready for them at this point in their life, and maybe they couldn't give you what you really needed. And that is something I think they're trying to figure out right now. Can they give you what you need for this to go from the fling to the real thing? And I didn't see this reading going in this direction, because it does have kind of a heavier feel to it, but there is still a very positive message here. And I think you guys you learned a lot from each other in this time you were together. There's something very wholesome and beautiful that came of it. Even if you don't necessarily realize it now, it's one of those things that you look back on and you're I would never take it back. I would never change it. I have 0 regrets. If it didn't wind up working out. But I really think it could, but I just think it depends on this person, and that's a true question mark to me right now. But let me see your person in 2 cards. Let's see them in 2 cards. And I've done this for the other readings, so it's been interesting. Okay, we've got the King of Pentacles. That's a lovely card, sincerely. Okay, and the Page of Swords. So the King of Pentacles is if you were to be in a relationship with any of the kings of the deck, I feel like the King of Pentacles would be the best partner. They would be the most grounded. It's an earth energy. It is that secure, like, let me take care of you. And there is that vibe of this person wants to take care of you. Like, they so badly want to do right by you and like honor who you are and your dynamic and your commitment, that they're only going to get into this next phase if it's like very, very real and they can handle it. So that would be very, very King of Pentacles. Very much like, hey, I'm only doing this if I can be the King of Pentacles, like to you, to myself. So yeah, and I do think they're successful. I absolutely stand by that. I think they work hard. I think they've got some, some financial backing. I think they're doing good, and I think they want to care for the person they're with. They want, if they bring someone into the fold, it's a very real thing, and there's a lot of like security that comes along with it, which is great. And the Page of Swords, I like this card actually, if I'm looking at them right now, because it tells me they're starting to approach things differently. They're starting to think about things differently, new thoughts, new ideas, new ways of approaching things. So this could mean, they're working on a new business venture, or this could mean more spoken to you and this whole reading and this whole dynamic, that they are thinking like, how can I make this work? What do I do differently now than I've done before or in my last relationship to make this really, really work and to like truly honor this person? Because I don't think they're going to do anything with you if they don't get to shine and be represented completely as the King of Pentacles. So I take comfort in that, because I think whatever happens would be the thing that was supposed to happen. I feel confident in delivering that message, that, assuming all this really tracks, I would say how this unfolds with your person I would trust in their decision. If they said, I can't do this right now, I'm so sorry, I can't be the person you need me to be, then I would trust them. I really would. And I wouldn't necessarily fight it. And if they said, I can do this right now and I can be, the King of Pentacles, and I've been thinking about how I can make this work and I'm going to do this, blah, blah, blah. Not blah, 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 but you know what I mean? I would also trust that. So I think it's really kind of waiting to hear their message, without actually waiting. And there's no reason why you can't obviously initiate conversation, because I think your person's bright. I think they enjoy conversation. I think they're a great conversationalist, and I think they probably enjoy talking about relationships and futures and where things stand structurally. And like, I don't know, I'm going off of like earth energy things, but I really do feel that. In other words, I don't think they're going to get annoyed if you're like, what are you thinking? Where do you see it? Like, I just think they're going to be open to those kind of conversations. These are quote cards from Spirit. They're fun, they're quirky, they're offbeat. But this is input from Spirit. This is her fun little parting word to you. And we've got take the lead. Okay, so I like when this happens. And I don't know who's still watching this 22 minutes in, but this really does speak to what I just said. I do think you can ask questions about this. I really do. I think that you don't have to sit, like, I might have said the word wait earlier, and even when I said it, I was like, I don't like the word wait. You don't necessarily have to wait. You can ask the questions. You can start the conversations that's going to like spark some of the action. You can be a little bit of like a igniter in all this. So yeah, I like the take the lead card. I like thinking that your person would actually enjoy and respect this kind of like conversation and this kind of attention brought to this, and hearing your side and, how you think and feel about this. But yeah, just don't forget you're the Sun. I love that you're also the Hermit and Temperance. That's great. But you are definitely the Sun. And, the take the lead card has a very positive and strong message. So I also love this as well. Okay, I'm going to end your reading here. I'm going to ask you to please like, subscribe, or comment. If you haven't done those things, I would absolutely appreciate it, and I need it, and I thank you for it. So I also hope to get to read for you again and see you again. Thank you so much. Goodbye.